Hey guys, what's up? Kotox here, and today I am posting the second video of the day because for so long I haven't uploaded. Sorry guys, but the situation we have at hand, I hope everyone is safe and I hope you guys understand and I hope you guys keep coding. So yeah, today as you can see on your screens, we are talking about arrays. So created this little graphic I feel like explains arrays really well. So this is like a normal data variable, sorry, a normal variable that holds data. And you could think of a variable like a box, and the box has a name, which is the variable name, and then inside there's some kind of data, which is like a number or whatever. Like you declare a variable in Python, like normally. But then an array is kind of like a set of values stored under one box. So I like to think of it as one box called whatever you want to call it. I've called it array, and it has sections in it which store kind of values that are under the same category. So why would we use arrays? Um, Maybe you want to store marks from one class. Let's say you have six grade 12 classes, for example, and you want to store their marks separately, and each class has 30 students. So instead of creating 180 variables, you could create six arrays with 30 indexes or kind of sections. Um, each, and it would be more organized, readable, and honestly usable because once you start using arrays, they'll just come naturally and it just makes your code flow better. So, yeah. So here I've created an array, and let's say it has a length of 6, so it has 6 elements in it. So you each kind of data piece in an array you call an element, and the number associated with the element is called its index. So when you're calling an index of array, you always start with 0. So the first one is not 1, it's 0 associated with it. Then the next one is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. I don't know why I wrote 6 here. I'm pretty sure I should know how to count if I'm running this channel. My bad. We'll just change this to 5. Okay. I don't know why I use crayon. Alright. So I hope you guys get it, but you will get it by the end of this video, I promise. So let's open up our IDE and let's get started. So, just the first ways to declare arrays. Declare an array. I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background. Just a lot of people are home. So, um, the first way you could say, let's say I have section A. Section A grades. Okay? And I can maybe have a lot of grades, like 99, 90, 70, 75, 80, 60, 100. You could have literally as many elements as you want. So that's the first way to declare an array. And now let's practice getting elements. So let's say I want to get the first element. You'd write the name of your array. So section A grades and what index you want. So basically what mark you want. And you can see the first element 0 is 99 and it prints out 99. Um, Another cool thing you could do with arrays is you can sort them. Um, so what you can do is just do grades.sort, and then I'm just going to print out the whole array, and you can see it will be sorted from lowest to highest. Let's say I want it highest to lowest. I could use the method section a grades dot reverse Is it like that? Or is it inside reverse? No, that's good. And then I'm pretty sure there is reverse. Okay, yeah, okay. So reversed is like, let's say you're running through a for. I'll go over it later, actually. So yeah, that's like sorting array pretty quick. Let's say in Python there's this cool thing that's quite useful actually. Let's say you do this. Oh, that's not what I wanted to show first, but you know what? We did it. It's cool. So let's show the original array first before we do that thing. So basically what we're doing here is we're kind of printing every element from 1. We're printing index 1 to the end. And as you may recall, it starts with 0. So it will leave out the first index. So you can see it doesn't include 100 when we print it. If we did maybe 3, it will print out the third index till the end. So the fourth number till the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is index 3 because 0, 1, 2, 3. And then we'll print this to the end and you can see it did. So let's say you want to print from the back of the array. So you want to go like from the other side. You could use negative numbers. So -1 indicates the last number in the array, which in our case should be the smallest number. So you could see, um, I should probably print out the full array so you guys can see what's going on. So you could see it printed out the last element because I did -1. So yeah, pretty easy stuff in terms of declaring an array like this. But let's say you don't know um, your array, and let's say you want to get you know, let's say you just want to get marks for a class. So you'll write, maybe you'll first create a variable n. So you do int input to get input from the user, and you'd just be like, how many grades are you going to enter? And then you'd run a for loop like we did in the last video, and we'd run a for loop n times, um, and we can just, sorry, we have to create the array. So how we create an undefined array or an empty array is like this. Then we could use the append function to add stuff to the array. So we will append int input, and we'll prompt for a mark. Okay, and yeah, and let's get that program running. So how many grades? Let's say we are gonna enter 3 grades. Mark 2, 6, 10. These are horrible marks. And then we'll print out marks. So let's do 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And you can print it, see that I've added this to the array. Okay, let's say I want to run through the array's elements with a for loop. So this was kind of I was alluding to in the last video, which you should definitely go watch if you haven't watched this. So, um, you can run through an array like this. You can print out, let's say you want to print out each element of marks. You could run through, you could print marks I, and what that means is I, the first time, goes all the way up to n. So let's create a hypothetical number for n so I can just quickly explain. Let's say n equals 6, but it in reality is whatever the user inputs. So I will start at 0 because that's the default for a for loop. Because if you watched the last video, you'll know that if you specify the first parameter, then you'll know it'll start at a different number than 0, but the default is 0. So it goes the first time 0, so it'll print out marks index 0, which is the first one. Then it will go all the way up to n, but not equal to n. And since it started at 0, it'll actually end up being exactly looping n times. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Comment down below if anything doesn't make sense. I will try to get back to you like very quickly. How many grades are you going to enter? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. And yeah, you can see it printed out all of our grades, which was 7 numbers. Um, so yeah, another way to print out these values. So obviously you can edit the values like this. Let's say you want to edit each index and subtract 1 from it or something. You could obviously just be like marks I minus equals 1, and you could just subtract a number from there. Um, but the loop I was alluding to at the end that I was like I'll show you in the next show you in the next is this one. It's a for each loop. So basically it runs through an array like it ran through a string. And basically instead of I being a number, so I going through a range of numbers, I is basically going through an array. And what that means is that I is in the first iteration, I is going to be this point. I don't like crayon at all. And then I is going to be this, then I is going to be this, then I is going to be this, then I is going to be this in its last iteration. So I isn't, it's not mimicking, but it is literally that element. So I'll show you. You can even manipulate it. So you could print I like this. So I is basically an element in marks. And you could see I printed out 1, 2, 3 for this loop and 1, 2, 3 for this. To make this code a little bit more readable, instead of using I, you could do mark. And this makes a lot more sense, especially because Python's supposed to be a readable language. So I'm doing for mark in marks. So for a mark in the set of marks, it will print it out like this. And yeah, so you can edit as I was saying. You could just do marks minus equals 1 if you wanted to subtract 1 from each one for whatever reason. But yeah, how many grades are gonna enter? 3, 1, 2, 3. And I did not even print out the mark. Print mark. Okay. And 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, and you can see it subtracted 1 from each number. Alright, so that's pretty much arrays. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and yeah, this was a nice short and sweet video, and thanks for watching.